last hour. We're going to give you a little more time. GC, we were waiting on you. Awesome. Has everybody had fun at the fair this week?
Yeah.
Yes. The fair is such a great thing. So we've been there all week. I know you all are having lots of fun and doing lots of different things all over town. I want to thank you all for being here. At this time, I would like to introduce our sponsor, Robertson Family Water Treatment. If you'll come on up. Come on up.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Usually I get up here and tell you about water filtration. What I did today is I brought my test kit. So you can kind of see, if you remember back in school days when we had chemistry lab and all of that, same type of thing. We analyze water just to see what it presents. Actually, Middle Tennessee water is, by the grace of God, hard. We have rocks in the area. Certainly Wilson County is kind of full of rocks. But we measure things like chlorine, and we look at hardness too. This is what we do when we have a hardness test. And it just kind of shows you that there's calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and particularly limestone that's in the water. So this really, as a demonstration for folks when we go in their house, it's pretty eye-opening. And that's kind of the whole thing about it, is to let folks realize that this actually presents itself in your water. So we're kind of trying to move at it from a health perspective. That way folks know that if they get water filtration, they don't have any worries or anything to, worry about, essentially. So they can, what's the word? Be safe, right? That's not a better word. But we do hardness tests. We also test for chlorine. Certainly chlorine is something that they're putting in the water to kill all the microorganisms. But then we also have chlorine that's in your water too. And I know folks don't drink the water, but one interesting test is that when we do for chlorine, we have a bowl of water. We put the tester in there to show that there's a presence of chlorine, and then rest your hand in there for about 15 seconds. When you pull it out, the yellow's gone. The chlorine is actually absorbed into your system. So it's a transdermal effect you get when you're using your water in the shower and that, and it gets into your system. So kind of another health issue. But that's really what we're doing when we go around and test your water and just talk to you about it and let you know. Certainly water filtration is not a new thing, but it's really a good thing. And I think more and more it'll become something that's looked at a little bit more. Appreciate your time. Hope that everything's going all right your way, and thanks very much.
Chamber time, ribbon cutting today. If you don't know about it, you should know with your newsletter. Today at Avalon Hospice from 12 to 1 at 322 North Maple Street in Lebanon. So we are so happy to have the second hospice with Avalon. They're ribbon cutting today. We had one last week or a couple of weeks ago with the live hospice, but we're so happy to have Avalon, which is nearly across the street. So please join us today for that ribbon cutting. At this time, I am so happy to invite Dr. Donna Wright up to talk to us today a little bit about Wilson County Schools and what's happening.
So I'm not going to read off, which might be a mistake because as Bill Robinson will tell you, one of our board members, that I'm not known for brevity. And so he sort of holds the card up and says, B, break it down. But more than happy to talk about what's going on with Wilson County Schools, particularly after surviving the eclipse. That was one that, again, will go down into the record books. And that, Scott and I were in correspondence with each other as far as just get us through Monday. And it turned out to be not only favorable, but a wonderful learning experience for our kids. Right now, we are continuing to grow. Last count, 18,450 kids, which again, that's sort of the barometer or the measure of what people are doing by more or less doing their homework and researching this area. We're seeing more and more families that will literally call and interview the school district to get questions answered, and many of them coming from the Midwest, some coming from the eastern, out of Maryland, which I find interesting, that are more or less relocating here with home businesses, because with the World Wide Web, they can work anywhere, anytime, any place. And it's almost like this one family said, we just literally looked and put a dot and felt like this was the center, good transportation, good outcomes, and we liked what we were seeing with the schools. But all that to say that with that wonderful complement of people relocating here, we're growing faster than we can more or less respond. And I say that not as a criticism, but something that we just need to be aware, because that creates tension and we lose focus about what our purpose is as far as educating boys and girls. And that's something that's become a huge distraction in the sense of where we build, why we build, and of course always the cost of that. And so I have to bring everyone back to center to talk about what we are looking like as far as in affording that education. We are rapidly moving up into that top 5% in the state when you look at not only academic achievement, but the thing that's far more important to me is performance or growth. And that being where a child starts at any entry point when they begin a school year and how far we can grow them as far as based on where they are well beyond a school year. And sometimes that gets lost because everyone understands when they look at grades, A, B, C, whatever it might be. But the piece that becomes so intrinsic in what we do is where that youngster might start, needs starting point, and how far we can grow them. And we are really doing outstanding work. And I attribute that to our teachers, because everything becomes more about that relationship building with our youngsters and building that relationship as far as what we can do to underscore and undergird their strengths and ability. Because what we're seeing, and this is something I've been addressing with a lot of groups lately, we focus on ability to learn, but sometimes we forget the opportunities to learn. We are a very transient and mobile society, and with that our kids are getting displaced because families are picking up and moving. We've identified youngsters that have made 3 or 4 moves in one school year. Think about that. If you were to change jobs that many times within a school, what would it do to your confidence as far as, because what you're having to do is restructure yourself and rebuild as far as, okay, and it's also about those relationships. So we have kids coming in hoping that they can find their place and then find out that they're either behind or there's those opportunities to learn that they haven't been taught yet. And so that's something that we really are stressing, because we've got to take advantage of that moment and find out where every child is and grow them from there. And so with that, again, we just opened Springdale Elementary out there on Central Pike. Beautiful school. It's what we're referring to as a demonstration school. We have people coming from all over looking to see not only at the technology enhancements, but how technology supports instruction. It's also, as far as an adaptive learning model, again, looking at where a child is and being able to support that. We are in the fray right now as far as the debate over a new high school. And I'll somewhat end it with that. We have property up on North Green Hills Road. We've had that property now for a little over a year and a half. And no matter where you decide to place a high school, it's always not in my backyard. No one gets into heartache over an elementary school, and some will sit back up a little bit on a middle school, but they don't want the high school because, again, they think about the big bodies of teenagers, the cars, and all that. But then on the other sense, what they also find when you build a new comprehensive high school, property values go up, and I've never been anywhere that has not occurred. And much of the tension that everyone believes is going to happen, just doesn't, because we become a good member of that community as well. And so with that, we are showing heat maps, and our heat map is one that I've used for a long time because you have to have a visual as far as where are the kids. And as of August the 4th, when you look at, and I'll use my hand as a sort of, this is Wilson County. And so as we go up through here, and up here, what I refer to as the northwest quadrant, and to give you proximity as far as Highway 70, Green Hills Road, Lakeview, all of that area. We put a dot for every child 9th through 12th grade that we know currently enrolled, and it looks like we have a hemorrhage in this area up here. And as far as it looks like a heart. We've got a density right here as far as in Lebanon proper, Going up towards 109, you'll see density around Mount Juliet High School, but then when you go up into this area, it is a cluster of red dots. And today, if we had the new high school today, I could fill it with 1,540 kids today up here in that area, and which would bring the current Mount Juliet High School down to about 1,400 temporarily. And then we still have Mount Juliet, or Lebanon High School, that's right at 1975 today. It's going to push 2,000. And then Wilson Central, in fact, it's a race almost between Lebanon High School and Wilson Central High School with 1960 to 1975 there. And then we've also seen growth at Watertown High School. We're at 545 there. And again, we're seeing relocation of families coming from out of state that have discovered Mayberry. And so with that, good problems, and that's but also interesting challenges as we face the growth and in trying to forecast best we can what we will do to resolve this. Because here's the thing I want to leave you with: we have 4 high schools that are knocking it out of the ballpark. We're seeing not only growth in placement, we're seeing kids that are entering college, foregoing their freshman year because they have enough college credits to start their sophomore year. And that's a foundation that doesn't start in high school, that starts early on. And I attribute much because 80% of the kids going to Lebanon High School come out of Scott Benson's district with a special school district, and people fail to understand or remember that. And so I want that, again, it's about that community of education that we are creating, and then also the partnership that we work with Cumberland University with our dual enrollment, that it's all good, and we need to celebrate that and be careful about the distractions as far as, okay, where are we going to house kids? We'll figure it out. The only thing I'll tell you that we do not have one portable classroom right now in Wilson County. It's the first time ever. And it's also the first district I've ever been in that we've not had children in portables. And the significance of that is safety and security, having everyone under one roof, whether it's storm related or making sure that we have no one coming on campus that could get to an auxiliary building and not coming in through the main building. So that is pretty significant and fast as I could go. But good things happen in Wilson County.
Dr. Wright, thank you so much. We love to hear all about education, and that's why we have some of you here today to talk about education. It's very important to our community, and we thank all you all are doing to work together to make that happen. Member time, chain reaction. Meredith, please come up and tell us a little bit about your business.
Hi, I'm Mary Ray. I'm the owner of Chain Reaction Mobile Mystery Adventures. And we're a newer source of entertainment in Wilson County. We're based here in Lebanon. In our mystery adventure rooms, you have 45 minutes to solve puzzles, clues, and riddles and complete your mission. Our first room is the Diamond Heist, and we will be opening October 1st. We're a mobile unit, so we're great for birthday parties, game nights, family night. You can have us come to your work after work and just walk out to the parking lot. We're there, you play, you don't have to drive anywhere. We're great for team building and communication skills. In the future, we plan to pair up with some of our favorite local restaurants so that you can get a mystery adventure and dinner all in one spot, and you don't have to drive around, you don't have to go to downtown Nashville, and that's about it.
Chamber time, nonprofit roundtable, August the 30th, 8:30 here. This is something that we've done new this year. We're very excited to have presented this to our community, and we have people from all over Wilson County joining us. So if you are not a member, please let us know. We'd love to involve you in the nonprofit. If you, for by chance, have not been to the nonprofit roundtable, please come. It's very important. We actually created the big payback in downtown Lebanon this year on the square, which is something that had never been done before. It's something that had been done over in the Nashville area in different areas of the state, but we certainly had not done anything like this, and we were really excited to bring this to the table for the nonprofit. So please join us if you're a nonprofit. At this time, I'm very excited to also introduce a favorite. All of my favorite educators are here. But one in particular, and all the leaders of education, Director Scott Benson. Scott, if you'll come up and tell us a little bit about Lebanon Special School District.
Glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. Melanie, Chamber, it's a pleasure to be here with you to talk about the Lebanon Special School District. Very proud of our district and all that's taken place, and I can tell you that we are rocking and rolling in the new school year. It had a terrific start, and it's hard to believe we're X amount of weeks already into it, and we have wonderful relationships with Wilson County Schools, partnerships with Cumberland as well. I missed an event last week over there with Paul at Cumberland, but certainly we are fortunate in Wilson County, Melanie, and you know this, when it comes to education. And Wilson County Schools and the Lebanon Special School District and all the other wonderful educational opportunities that we have, to include Cumberland here in Wilson County. So we're blessed as a community. Lebanon Special School District, we are growing as well. We're dealing with those issues. You may or may not be aware. Don, I've got maps as well. And Bernie, some of your folks have helped me over the last couple of months with my maps and locating neighborhoods and plans and those sorts of things. Currently, as we sit here this morning, there are over 8,000 lots or units in the city limits of Lebanon that are either under construction now or in the planning stages. So that's amazing when you think about that number. It's a good thing, but we've got to be ready for it. And so we're having those conversations and making those plans. In our school district, of course, we haven't experienced the boom of, like Wilson County has in the Mount Jude areas and those sorts of things. It's been slow coming to us. When we track our growth, when you look at the last 15 years, we average about 50 students a year, give or take. Some years it's a little more, some years it's a little less. We're a little more than that this year with our growth. We're starting the year with about 3,800 students this year. We're very transient as well. Any given day that changes. We're up approximately 70 students from last school year. But we're on the brink of a boom here, and we're trying to plan for that as well. You may or not be aware, a couple of years ago we purchased land for our next school. That's on the corner of Coles Ferry Pike and Hartman. Right there at the red light, we have on 57 acres right there. And a couple of years ago when we made that purchase, we thought 5-10 years, I actually thought, Donna, it might be the next superintendent that builds the next school, but it's not. It's going to be the current superintendent that builds the next school. And we're just trying to determine when we're going to pull the trigger on that. But we have, like I said, about 3,800 students. We have about 500 employees. Approximately, we have about 300 certified staff in the Lebanon Special School District, and we're successful as a district because of our people, and we have wonderful people in our district, and that's everybody we have on staff, especially our teachers. That includes our school board, and everything we do, we try to put kids first, and we try to keep that in the forefront of our thinking there when we make decisions on a daily basis. We'll talk a little bit about the school year. When we started the school year, of course, we have goals. Everybody has goals. When you start the school year, the great thing about education, we can start over every year. So that's one of the things that keeps me going every single year. We can start over. But, we thought this year, hey, we're doing pretty well. We're doing some things well, and we feel good about what we're doing. Let's stay the course. So when we looked at our goals for this year, of course, growth and achievement, Donna talked about that, and that's what we do. When it comes to Tennessee state standards, and so that's a goal we're going to continue to strive for, and we've experienced, I'm not going to get into the state testing data issue, but if you keep up with that sort of thing, it's been challenging the last several years at the state level. So, but the data that we receive, we're extremely pleased with when it comes to growth, especially. And where we're going there. So we're going to stay the course there. Another goal that we have, a couple of years ago, we drew a line in the sand, and I use that wording with our people when it comes to literacy and students reading on grade level. Melanie, you'll recall you attended an event, some of you were probably there as well, a year or so ago over at College Hills, and the Read to Be Ready initiative by the state. And I'll let you know that the state goal for students reading on grade level is by the year 2025 to have 75% of the students in the state of Tennessee reading on grade level. Paul, let that sink in just a bit. By 2025, 75%. Now, some might say, my goodness, what in the world are we doing? That's what we said in the Lebanon Special School District. A couple years ago, we were right in line with the state, and I'm embarrassed to tell you that according to the data, about 40 some odd % of the students in our district were reading on grade level. And we were right in line with the state. So that's why the state's doing what they're doing. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And we made some changes, and we started doing things differently a couple years ago. We're seeing tremendous progress with students reading on grade level. We monitor that. We monitor that on a monthly basis with our principals. Our teachers are aware. We're monitoring that on a weekly basis at our schools. We've hired reading teacher specialists at each school, at each elementary school in our district to help not only our struggling readers, but help our other teachers with best practice and how to reach those struggling readers. I could go on the things we're doing, but I'm going to report some progress to you. According to our universal screener data that we monitor, I told you a couple years ago we were in the 40s. Well, a year or so ago, we raised that to up in the 60s, and we were really pleased with that. And so it's a big deal in our district. I'm telling you, we emphasize that, and we talk about it all the time. And, of course, we had our closeout meetings with our principals to end last school year, and they've got to come sit in front of me, and they've got to show me their data, and we go through that like a fine-tooth comb. And I was really pleased this year to stand in front of all of our teachers when we started our school year back. The day you were there, Melanie, I don't know if you were still there when I talked about this, but to end the last school year, we were at 82% of our students in our district. Now, what about those other 18%? And we're working on that, and that's a point of emphasis. But I want you to know that's we're doing pretty well. That's a goal. It's going to continue to be a goal until we're at 100%. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there, but as you can see, we've made really good progress in just a few years. So we're going to continue with that. Another goal that we have this school year, and again, it's not new, and Donna used this word 3 or 4 times while you were up here a minute ago, relationships. Relationships matter. They matter with our students, they matter with our parents, they matter with our community, and all that goes with that. And I don't know how long I've been, Melanie, but I could go on that, but I'm not going to. I'll just stop there and talk. Let you know relationships matter, and it matters in our school district. I want to mention this. This is a goal for us, and we sort of evolved into this last school year. We didn't plan for this to happen. It just sort of happened, and I won't tell the story there because it would be too long. But we made it a goal this year. We started an initiative last year in our school district, Be Kind, LSSD. I was driving down the road one day this week, and I saw one of our bumper stickers, Be Kind, LSSD. I thought, all right. But be kind. Now, you and I had a conversation about something in education. I won't share at the podium. And my first thought was, hey, people, just be kind. That's what we're trying to teach our students. And when it comes to bullying and relationships with students and students getting along and the culture in our schools on a daily basis and how folks interact with each other, that is so important. We've started with a bang this school year. We've had programs and initiatives and stickers and Post-it notes. I retweeted a picture from one of our schools where the first day the students came in, amongst all the other things going on, every single locker had a Post-it note with kindness quotes. And so there's all sorts of incentives going on in our schools. So we're really pleased with that, proud of that, and we're going to continue to do that. You may have heard of our neon bus that was rolling around town this past summer, taking food to our children throughout the summer. We're even getting our neon bus involved in that during the school year as well as part of our Be Kind initiative. We sort of evolved into this too. When we started the neon, it was for the purpose of our summer food program. Well, during the school year, what are we going to do with that bus? We're going to make that a mobile classroom. And we're actually starting next week at one of our schools where we're going to take the neon bus around. It's at the fair, by the way. Make sure you go by the exhibits and look at our neon bus. But starting next week, it's going to be traveling around to our schools, and our schools are going to have that available to them to use it as an incentive for our students in different ways to go out. And we're going to, I've already been scheduled to be a guest reader on our Neon bus for that. So that all ties together.
Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate you being here. One of the great memories that I have with Scott was a couple of years ago being over at Lebanon Special School District before he was in front of over 500 school teachers. And we were at our breakfast. So we love to do that for the school systems, to go and support them when the teachers come in for in-service. And we actually got there that day, and I had a cup of coffee, and I learned a lot about Scott that day because he was so nice when someone hit me from behind and coffee went all over him. And he went up in front of his teachers and said, well, we're having fun early this morning, and we want to thank the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce for coming and having coffee today. So,
I had a white shirt on.
it was pretty funny. But anyways, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Dr. Wright. We really appreciate all that you do here for Lebanon and Wilson County. And again, the fact that you all are working together makes our place even a great place to be. So, okay, business card exchange. August the 31st from 12 to 1. We do have business card exchanges once a month on Friday, the last Friday of the month from 12 to 1. So that will be Summit Family Chiropractic. It's actually in Mount Juliet. So 11227 Lebanon Road, that's where we will be for our business card exchange. Member time, Angela's Photography.
Hi, my name is Angela Seats, and I am one of those Midwesterners that moved here just recently this summer from Hannibal, Missouri, which is north of St. Louis, about an hour and a half. I am a photographer. I'm a certified professional photographer. I've been in business about 6 to 7 years. I specialize in high school seniors and corporate headshots. So if you guys want to put your face out there, I'd be more than happy to help you put your best face forward. I also, on the side, I do substitute teaching. So I was excited this morning to hear a little bit about the education. That was important when I decided where to move to. I wanted to be a part of the Wilson County schools. I knew that before I moved here. Like you said, did some research, and my brother's a fireman. He lives in Mount Juliet. So that's where I am located, is in Mount Juliet. I'm up off of Nonneville Road. Right now, I don't have an actual studio. I do have a 2,800 square foot metal building I'm going to be converting into my studio, so now I just go to locations. So I can come to you for no extra charge right now and set up in your business or location or wherever you're at, and I'd be more than happy to do that. And if you'd like to speak with me afterwards, I have some business cards, and I'm on Facebook as Angela's Photography. I'm also on Instagram as Angela's Photography, and thank you, and I'm excited to be a part of this community.
Thank you, Angela. It's always good to have those from Mount Juliet over and come visit us and be part of our membership. We are the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce, so we do service all 3 cities in our county, and we're happy to do that all across the board. So we want to thank you all for being over here with us today. Chamber time, all sports camp. If you haven't heard about it, you're going to hear about it today because it is so awesome. I would like to thank Cumberland University for partnering with us. And might I just say that we love our partnerships in the community. We have several here today that we partner with, and we can always make things bigger and greater with partnerships. But I do want to thank Cumberland for this particular partnership. It's something that we started. This will be our 3rd year. We actually have coaches from the athletic department over at Cumberland University. It's all a variety of sports that they offer. They bring coaches out that day. The chamber schedules, we get children in from the ages of 7 to 14 to choose a sport, from 3 to 5 that day to work with a Cumberland University coach. It's great exposure for Cumberland University, and it's something that we can work together with as a community. So I do want to let you know that that will be September the 10th. It's going out in schools, so I know Wilson County Schools and Lebanon Special School District are filtering that out right now as we speak. But that will be on September 10th, which is a Sunday, from 3 to 5, and sign up that day is at 2 o'clock. You can go on our website to sign up for that event. So please join us that day, or make sure if you have friends or family that would like to be involved in that, to please let us know. And at this time, I would like to call up President of Cumberland University, Dr. Paul Stum.
Melanie, thank you, Tanya. I first off want to thank all of you for staying. Am I the last person on the agenda? No? No? Okay. Well, do I get to ring this bell? Beth, who's your favorite really of the?
I mean, all my favorites.
It's kind of, Donna and I both kind of think you're leaning towards Scott, but
Not that we're sensitive or anything.
no. I will be brief this morning, but thank you all for coming and giving me the opportunity to talk for a few minutes about one of my favorite topics, arguably my very most favorite topic, and that is Cumberland University. You've heard from some of my colleagues today about the great things going on in the Lebanon Special School District and the Wilson County school system, and you know, we love partnering with you all. We thank you all for the opportunity to do that, and we do have a great collegial relationship. We really do. We thank the business community. The business community of Lebanon and Wilson County. We have our faculty that are out working with businesses, doing consulting opportunities. We have our students working in student internships. And if you don't have a student intern from Cumberland University, I encourage you to talk to Courtney Vick on my staff about that. She loves placing students, and it's really a win-win. It's an opportunity to help the businesses. It's an opportunity to give our students some real life experience. I saw a quote a while back that I've always liked, and I'm sorry, my English faculty would really chastise me for not attributing this to the original author. I don't know who said this. I'll just call it anonymous. But the quote is, it says, the only thing rising faster than the cost of education is the cost of not being educated. And I think we're seeing that in our society today. And both Mr. Benson and Dr. Wright, from whom you've already heard, and I certainly want to echo that. We all believe that that's important, as I know you do. I can talk a lot about Cumberland. I'll just highlight a few things in my brief time this morning. One, just like my colleagues before me said, we're experiencing a lot of growth. Last year we had over 26% year-over-year growth. We grew to, for the first time in our history, almost 2,000 students. This fall, we've added another right at 400 students. We're a little north of 2,300 students this fall. And that's the largest we've ever been in our 176-year history now. We were founded in, well, don't think I'm bad at math. We're starting our 176th year. We were founded in 1842. So we have students last year, and we'll be doing the demographics soon in the next couple of weeks on this year's entering class. I expect it'll even be bigger, but last year we had students from 65 of the 95 counties across the state. We had students from 32 of the 50 U.S. states and students from 28 countries. So we have a diverse group of students on our campus, which I think is fabulous and really, truthfully, adds a lot to this community. 2 years ago, we did an economic impact study. That was before we grew our enrollment by right at 50%. And the economic impact of Cumberland University was north of $68 million annually. Those are people coming into our community, spending money here. That's our faculty and staff. That's the people that we employ, and that's the students that we graduate. Last year we graduated just over 500 students, and we not only replaced those, but as I mentioned, we added another incremental net growth of another 400 this year. We're running out of space. We're adding, thanks to Rob Porter and Civil Site Design Group, we're adding a new parking lot. If you've seen that construction kind of on the northwest corner of our campus, it was supposed to have been finished by the beginning of the fall semester. Didn't quite make that. But we're close, and Rob tells me we're going to be putting stone down tomorrow, hopefully, then asphalt over that. And we'll, right now we're shuttling people from the Emmanuel Baptist Church. Emmanuel Baptist, by the way, has been such a great partner to us, too. We use their classroom space in the Owen building. We use their parking lot. They have been great partners with us. The St. Francis Cabrini Catholic Church, which is just on the west side of our campus, has been a great partner to us. So many businesses in this community have supported Cumberland University, as well as so many individuals, and for that we're really appreciative and thankful. I want to thank the mayor for all he does in supporting us through the city. I want to thank Representative Pody. You hardly see a better cheerleader than soon-to-be Senator Mark Bodie.
I'm trying.
Yeah, that's going to be terrific. Thank you, Melanie, for highlighting the event, the sports camp that we're having coming up. We have a number of other things coming up just to make you aware of briefly. First, our home opener football game is tomorrow, 13:30 hours, right here at, we play Bluefield College, and we're sure to have a win. Notes for Nurses, big fun fundraiser we have out at the airport coming up on 23 September in about a month. We have the Brock McGuire Irish Folk Band coming to campus next month. That's a free concert, really good. It'll be in Baird Chapel. Come out for that. We have Ghost and Goblets coming up. We have a Bill and Janine Walker concert. We have, of course, Homecoming. A lot of events. Check our website for details on all those events. Let me just talk about one or two other real quick things. Day before yesterday, we inaugurated a new tradition at Cumberland. Rick and Donna Wittrig, who own Fire Pit Art in this community, you all know them. They're a magnificent company, magnificent people. They created a masterpiece that's right in the center of our campus now. It's called the Heart of the Phoenix Fire Pit. And it stands about 9 feet tall. It has a phoenix coming out of the fire pit with a 10-foot wingspan. It's really magnificent. I want you all to come to our campus and see it. It's right out in front of Memorial Hall. And day before yesterday, when we had our opening convocation, we had about 2,000 of our 2,300 students there. And those 2,000 students, after convocation, each at the end of convocation wrote on a little note card that we gave them a fear, a concern, an apprehension that they have about their ability to succeed as a college student. And then they took that out and committed it to the fire in the fire pit. And it's a great new tradition that we started this year. We hired a lot of new people this year. We hired 18 new full-time faculty and about 90 new part-time faculty. And I want to say, I heard from Angela, is that you said you're a substitute teacher? Well, we're looking for other adjunct faculty. If you know somebody who's credentialed and has a terminal degree, we're hiring a lot of adjunct faculty. And we like to hire those adjunct faculty and then turn them into full-time faculty. And that's just a function of our growth. We're adding 2 new sports this year. We're adding archery, and we're also adding men's volleyball. So you'll be seeing those. And then, boy, I got too many things here, but I want to mention the Papers of Martin Van Buren. Cumberland University last year was selected as the home for the presidential papers of the 8th U.S. President, Martin Van Buren. Martin Van Buren, by the way, was the only U.S. president for whom English was not his native language. Did you all know that? You can come and learn a lot more about Martin Van Buren if you come to Cumberland University. The other universities across the nation that host presidential papers are universities like Princeton, University of Virginia. Cumberland is in good company in this very prestigious award that we got last year. And I want you all to be proud of us, as I know you are. So in closing, let me just say, Cumberland's on the move. We're growing rapidly, improving constantly, serving more and better students from Middle Tennessee and beyond. Thank you.
Chamber time, lunch and learn. We're very excited about this. Bob Rolfe, Commissioner, Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, will be at the Lebanon Golf and Country Club on September the 13th. So please join us for that event, 11:30 a.m., lunch and learn. Bob Rolfe, Commissioner, Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. So each year our Economic and Community Development puts on different lunch and learns, and we're so happy to have our new State Economic Development Director. So we'll be glad to have Commissioner, and we'll be glad to have him here. So are there any members here today that we have not mentioned that would like to say something to the crowd? Okay. And at this time, I'm just going to bring City of Lebanon, Mayor Ash up, just to say hello to everyone.
The thing that we have heard today is that Wilson County, and Tennessee in general, is supportive of education. My goodness, where would we be with our educational system, from the city to the county to Dr. Stump, Cumberland University? We are doing very well from what I've heard today. From that basis comes our citizenry. with an educated citizenry, we will continue to grow and prosper and be much better than we are. And we're at a good starting point now. As far as the city, we are still planning for the growth that is coming this way, that is already here. I've talked about it before, but we have the South Harbin and Sparta Pike study group that is working to help us not just take on growth, but to plan for growth as it comes this way. We are also working toward selling Lebanon and Wilson County. We have a great economics director who's doing a very good job, but she came in a few months ago and asked me, she said, we need to hire retail strategies to help us go after business in Lebanon. And we did that. And we went to Las Vegas this year, as we go every year, to the shopping center convention, looking for business to come this way. We talked to 17 or 18 different companies on our own. Retail Strategies was there. They spoke to 200 people, businesses. We want to come this direction. They also go to Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, all the other great conventions. Plus they have 12 full-time commercial real estate people on board to help us shop for businesses to come to our community. That's all I've got. Things are moving along very well, and I've enjoyed listening about education in Lebanon today. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you all for taking time out of your day to come and visit us. We will go live at 8:35 for 5 minutes on WANT to kind of talk about who we've had here today and what's happening in Lebanon and Wilson County. I do want to mention that we are under construction here at the Chamber. We have a capital campaign going on, so I know some of you have noticed for several weeks now out front on the facade, but we are working towards the upstairs of the building so that we can service more of our members. We now have over 1,000 members that are very steady, that are here using our facility. That's part of the membership that we offer to them. We will be making our building ADA compliant, so we will be adding a lift in the building from downstairs to go up to the second level. So I did want to mention that to you today. If you're interested in hearing more about that, please let us know because we certainly want to be able to service all of you. Thank you again, State Representative Pody, for being here today. And at this time, I would just like to say, stay connected, be in the know. We do this the last Friday of every month from 7:30 to 8:30. We try to get you out a little early. I think it's just before 8:30. We try not to make you the very last person. Dr. Stum, thank you, Mayor, for being here. Thank you all for being here. And please join us again next month.